Today, it's common for people to cry out against capitalism, saying that it only improves life for a very select number of people in the world. The truth is that capitalism has done more to bring people out of poverty than any other system in the world. I intend to show you a few misconceptions about capitalism and try to prove to you that it's not only a system that benefits everyone, but one that's just towards everyone. First, capitalism and equality. First misconception is that money never leaves the hands of the richest. That it only sees the workers just never benefit. The truth is that capitalism, even with its inequality, still sees the working class benefiting. Historian Mo Gao Changfan, a Chinese socialist, admits in his article China and Capitalism that even in the West, workers enjoy the benefits of a rich nation. And the average salary of a worker in the United States and Japan is often 40 times higher than that of China. On top of that, why haven't the workers risen in protest? If the ruling class and entrepreneurs didn't take care of their workers. And Yun Su Bu. The working class can also gain power in a capitalist society, unlike in the past. According to Rethinking Capital and the Concept of Capitalism, a historian's perspective, historian Yun Su Bei states in her article, capitalism is different from other systems in that power is separate from religion or violence or politics, for that matter. In medieval Europe, land and resources were controlled solely by the ruling class and authority, so it never left the hands of those in power, and often the only way to get something was to take from other people. Under capitalism, land and resources are commodities that are freely exchanged and not under the control of the wealthiest. Next argument, capitalism and amorality. The second argument is that the core of capitalism is individual gain. There's no incentive to treat others fairly. The truth is that there are inherent rules to capitalism that create a just system. According to how much inequality is fair, mathematical principles of a moral, optimal, and stable capitalist society, Valentin Kojanu, the author highlights some guidelines for a just capitalist society, and some highlights from this little chart are profit-driven employers and collective actions of employees always lead towards fair pay, or at least they should. Two separate entities should not be treated unequally. You need to put the needs of the majority over the minority, and maximizing fairness is indeed maximizing total utility. In other words, everybody has value in capitalism. Or at least everybody should have value. Poverty isn't a result of capitalism because capitalism rewards effort. According to Hong Kong Workfare and the world's freest economy, Chak Kwan Chan, a professor in Hong Kong's Lingnan University, states, poverty is caused by personal choice and family problems rather than low wages and limited opportunities. Granted, this is specifically cited by the Hong Kong's government. In addition to this, politicians from both parties agree that welfare dependency is most often a cause of poverty. Workfare, limiting welfare to solely the workers, as opposed to those who don't work, was introduced into self-reliant Hong Kong in order to cut costs, but also promote self-reliance. And it was also introduced in other countries, eventually the United States. Finally, capitalism, corruption, and control. The belief is that democracies can be corrupted and controlled to maximize the success of those in power. Every system has its corruption, and solely demonizing capitalism is unreasonable. According to democratic socialism and the concept of post-capitalism from Political Quarterly, all societies have groups that exploit the weak in favor of their own goals. Capitalism is not an exception. For example, the Soviet Union took the problems of capitalism and reinforced them. And some of those problems include nationalist pride and inappropriate delegation of resources. Capitalism thrives on a lack of control and a freedom of choice. According to emerging varieties of post-capitalism in Central and Eastern Europe, where do we stand, in Europe-Asian studies, many people in post-communist countries had no clear idea of how to implement capitalism, so it was complete chaos, and yet they still succeeded in that people had a free choice. The government did not control anything. Another effect saw capitalism from below in China and Vietnam, where the private sector became wealthy without any sort of central planning from their sole governments. In conclusion, capitalism has created a world in which everybody has value, and that value has become a success. The arguments against capitalism either stem from a lack of understanding about how capitalism works, or come from a fear that those in power can control the masses. I believe capitalism is a just system that every capitalist society through history has benefited from. A fact history has proven time and time again. Thank you.
Very nice on that. Very good.
Fully understood what was going on.
I'm surprised.
Really?